bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
What's going on, y'all? Sad day when I have to report the kind of stuff we're going to talk about today. Lamont Tyson in the building. If you're finding me on the Politics of Being Black YouTube channel, please come follow me on Life Gains 1 for where I do politics there. And if you're following me on Life Gains 1, please come over to the Politics of Being Black. Today, we're going to talk about the economy. Job rose 4.4%. I've got my girl, Kate, that I love so much, Powell, dropping the information. Trump yesterday threatened that 6 Democrats need to be executed. And he's got his talking head, Caroline Leavitt, coming out saying it is a fake. We got that. And then we've also got the kind of energy we need from Democrats. We've got a young, beautiful, intelligent, progressive House representative fighting an old hag, old school politician and giving it to her the way we want to see it given. First thing we're going to cover, the homegirl, Kate, dropping dimes on the two economies. Let's take a look right now.
We really got to stop meeting like this late at night. I've been having crazy work week, so this is another late night edition of Two Economies, where we talk about how there is an economy for the billionaires and an economy for the rest of us. The full Substack write-up is being published right after I publish this video. As always, we start with our economy for the billionaire class. And of course, NVIDIA's earnings were astronomical and wonderful and great and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I just want to remind everybody that this is all underpinned by massive amounts of debt. And by the way, this is not just Kate, who is not an economist, talking about this. It is Oaktree Financial, it is Bank of America, it is Bloomberg economists, it is the CEO of Google himself, which is a weird kind of deathbed confession if you think about it. Call me a Cassandra, but this is not the last we're going to hear about this. Crypto is doing poorly. Our Fed is very worried about bank liquidity, and that is not a good sign. It's not all skepticism for the billionaires this week. Meta was told it is totally not a monopoly by a real-life judge. And while you're struggling to pay rent, Trump rolled out the red carpet for the Prince of Saudi Arabia. Yes, the one who has an amazing human rights record. Now the economy for the rest of us. Let's start with Snap, which just went through a bunch of drama. But don't worry, there's more where that came from, as the work requirements from that big, beautiful bill over the summer start going into full force and effect in December. We might be skipping the October jobs report for BLS due to the shutdown, but we don't need it to know that the job outlook for college grads is not good. And the ones who are bleeding all the jobs? Small businesses. Trump's tariffs have absolutely curtailed trade, and now he's having to walk them back to even pretend to be the president of affordability like he promised he would be. Meanwhile, Starbucks baristas walked out on their Red Cup day, and I am so here for that energy. What is our mantra? Say it with me. We're going to tax the rich, the billionaires, people, not your 100,000 something a year, okay? We're not talking to you. We're going to raise the minimum wage. And no, it does not cause inflation. And we're going to ban stock buybacks using federal dollars. It just makes sense. Stop apologizing for billionaires, okay? We'll see if next week's Two Economies can be not from my bedroom, but no promises.
Folks, please go subscribe to Kate Powell, amazing content provider. And Kate, we all enjoy being in your bedroom because we're in there for the right things, the economy. We're in there for that. So take us in there whenever you get ready. Folks, this is what I got to say about that. I've been preaching to middle class and poor. Why do you continue to give your power to the rich and wealthy? You allow them to tell you that you shouldn't use the government for a handout while they continuously behind your back take the handout in droves. Those millions of dollars could better be served by the middle class and poor, because that would truly and really enrich the economy versus giving it to them who are already rich and just spend their money on, they blow their money on, put it in the stocks and increasing their wealth through assets so that they don't have to pay taxes. But that's another video for another day. I'll break that down for people who don't understand it later. But what I need you to understand here is unemployment rose because Trump is killing the middle class, as Kate gave you the data. And unfortunately, when we're talking to MAGA or people who claim to be moderates and independents, oftentimes we can't use data because they don't like that. We have to go by feeling. So I say to you folks in MAGA and the people who claim to be in the middle, how are you feeling right now? Does that vote you gave him, possibly because of hate and the way he made you feel, are you feeling good right now? If you are, just admit you got Stockholm syndrome. If you're not, admit that you made a mistake and start voting blue. Start voting for the policies that will help you get your life back on track and stop giving your power to the rich. They don't need no more fucking money. As Kate eloquently put it, when you raise minimum wage, it does not create inflation. What creates inflation is when the government prints out more money. You don't get your hands on it if you're the middle class and poor. The rich get it. And then what do? Use that extra money that they got to say that now that there's so many dollars circulating in the economy, prices must go up. When guess what, folks? You didn't get the money in the first place. They got the money. And then on the back end, they get more money because now they get the excuse of saying they need to raise prices. It's a damn shame minimum wage has not been raised since I was in high school, and I'm 45. So folks, think about this. Get yourself together. Get your head out of the sand. Get your feelings out of politics and put facts and reality into politics, and we can do better at the midterm. Be sure to follow me on Politics of Being Black on YouTube. Follow Kate Powell. That's my homie. We're probably going to do a video real soon together. Stick around. What do we have next? Trump threw a tantrum because six Democrats who all have military and or NASA experience, decided to tell the folks in the military that when Trump asked you to do something unconstitutional, refuse. So he got mad, said that they're seditious and they need to be executed. Who was seditious, ladies and gentlemen? The January 6 folks. And what has Trump done? Released them from prison. Well, now I have Jake tap that Democrat ass because he loves to pull a Stephen A. Smith on us and grift back and forth, talking about what went on with Trump and those Democrats. Take a look at this if you can stomach to hear Jake Tapper's voice.
President Trump this morning seemed to be calling for the death of some of his political opponents, their execution. At 10:21 this morning, he wrote, quote, "seditious behavior punishable by death." He's talking about a handful of House and Senate Democrats with background in the military and the intelligence community and the national security community who put out a video saying that any members of the military or intelligence communities who are handed down illegal orders from their superiors should not carry out illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
True. You shouldn't carry out illegal orders. You shouldn't carry out anything illegal. You shouldn't break the law. President Trump is now accusing these people of sedition. President Trump has been really pushing this on social media in ways that are rather inflammatory. Hang them. George Washington would. That's right. The president actually reposted a tweet that said, hang them. This comes, by the way, in the midst of a week where President Trump is displaying all sorts of rather unusual behavior. Obviously, he's not happy about the release of the Epstein files. When a woman reporter asked him about that, he said, quiet, piggy. When another woman reporter, one I used to work with, who's a great reporter, Mary Bruce, asked questions about both the Epstein files and also about Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, who was in the Oval Office, and the fact that our own intelligence community says that MBS ordered the murder of a Washington Post journalist named Jamal Khashoggi. President Trump got mad at the reporter for asking about it because he said it would be impolite to MBS. And then he started criticizing the victim of the murder, Khashoggi. He's also, of course, calling for late night comedians who he doesn't like to be fired. It is all a wild melange of strange behavior. And we should not become numb to this. This is not normal behavior from a president. And in fact, when you start calling people traitors and when you start saying that people should be hanged, In this climate where there is all this violence against political figures, including against President Trump, that's wildly irresponsible.
Oh, Lord. What I got to say about that? First of all, the messenger, you're the wrong messenger for this, because you knew this man, Jake Tapper, you knew this man, Trump, was nuts in the first place. But yet you wanted to go write a book, try to make money about Joe Biden's dementia. Okay, that's number one. I get you was trying to pander to the people in the middle and the people a little bit on the right, the quote unquote independents, but they were wrong too. I get that a lot of people was mad that Kamala was thrown in there. But now that your asses sit down a year later and see the difference, don't you wish you had Kamala? So that's point number one. Point number two, when Trump does that, people go into action. Jasmine Crockett had to hire personal security because somebody showed up at her doorstep slinging racist comments, saying all kinds of bull jive. And she's not even on the Democrat 6. She's just a black woman. That's policy. That's problem number two when Trump does this. Number three, I just don't understand why we don't have more Republicans trying to rein this guy in. You've already got your big ugly bill. You all voted for him to release those Epstein files. Now, unless y'all really know that he's not going to give up all the information, why would you do that? You're trying to look good to the people. And number three, you MAGA Republicans who used to always claim patriotism, security of the nation, national security, you comfortable with him letting the guy who killed a reporter, an American reporter, sit in there with that burqa and all that shit on his head that y'all normally are racist about, right? You're normally racist about stuff like that. Muslim, you okay with that? So I need y'all to make it make sense for me. You claim to be Christian nationalists, meaning that you're all about the nation. But you're okay with him threatening 6 American Democrats. And then you're okay, this is the counter hypocrisy. You're okay with him sitting in there with a Saudi crown prince. You're okay with him taking an airplane from a Saudi crown prince that he's going to have to spend $1 billion in taxpayer money to fix up. I know that some of y'all can never parse your finger to press the button and vote for a Democrat. So what do I encourage you to do? Just sit your ass out. Stay home. Stay home. Stay home. Don't vote, because this is ridiculous. It puts our politicians in jeopardy. Not only does it do that, it increases the amount of violence these folks in the street want to do. And we've already seen that if you are violent for Trump, he'll support you. Democrats, when you get the offices back, you have got to do a lot of cleanup, starting with ICE, starting with the Trump administration, going back, undoing all this shit he's done, because this is ridiculous. You've got to start enforcing policies that are already on the books so that we don't have to deal with this type of threat and hardcore talk. It's dumb. And now I want to know, are the social media outlets going to throttle Trump? Are the social media outlets going to throttle this talk of Trump? Because this is all I know. As someone who is progressive and brings truth to every conversation I do on YouTube, TikTok, and anywhere, my content gets throttled as if I'm in a race. Throttled left and right. I'm in the grasshopper race. Turn my shit down. But you're going to amplify someone who's actually stating violence. Y'all let me know what you think. It's ridiculous. Last story I got for you guys. The kind of energy we need from Democrats fighting the opposition. And I want you guys to notice this young, intelligent, and beautiful progressive Congress member not one time threatened a Republican's life, but she gave a beautiful clap back to an old hag who's sitting on the Republicans. Take a look at this.
Ms. Ansari, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Welcome back from your 8 weeks of taxpayer-funded vacation. It's good to see you, and I hope
I'm going to interrupt you.
Republicans
I'm going to interrupt you, please. I am sick and tired of hearing you all say we had an 8-week vacation.
That's exactly what happened.
I worked every day. I don't know about you, but I don't want to hear another soul
We all worked
say that.
every single day, and that's exactly what happened with Speaker Mike Johnson.
You're recognized.
I hope that you all enjoyed yourselves while American families looked at their letters from their health insurance companies, terrified that their insurance premiums were going to double or triple while the House was out of session for 53 days. That is unacceptable, Madam Chair. Now, we are back here to vote on a terrible partisan spending bill that will deepen a healthcare crisis that you did create. By first stripping away Medicaid from 15 million people, that is a fact. I'm sorry that you deny that fact, but that is a fact of the matter in the bill. And by refusing now to extend the Affordable Care Act, healthcare premium subsidies that keep coverage affordable for American families. And you also did all of this while engineering the most unprecedented transfer of wealth from the working class and poor Americans to the wealthiest people in this country. That is another fact. The Republican shutdown lasted 41 days. It is the longest shutdown in American history. 41 days of unpaid federal workers and families losing access to food assistance. 41 days of families skipping meals and seniors delaying care because Donald Trump chose to use hunger and healthcare as leverage.
That sister gets snaps from me. Democratic Party, we need to elevate people like her. She went right in there. She didn't give a damn about that old hag's opinions because that's what they are. They wasn't fat. She hit the old bitch with facts. And the old bitch, you know, my grandma used to say this, a hit dog will holler. The minute she told that woman they was on paid vacation, y'all see how she started singing like a mockingbird? Oh, I'm tired of you guys saying we're on vacation. Well, hell, black people is tired of y'all treating us a certain way. It doesn't change. The American people, the majority of us, we don't like seeing y'all being on vacation either. All this long, it don't matter how you try to word it, whether you was at work gardening, because, you know, I'm working could mean a lot of things. It could mean you're at home gardening, you're knitting. Who the hell knows what you're doing? Maybe her old ass is having sex. I don't know. I don't want to picture that. But whatever the work you was doing, it was not work for the people because you would have had your asses back in office. And we need the Democratic Party. I chastise them as much as I chastise MAGA and Republicans to elevate women like the one that just spoke and went into the belly of the beast and smacked that woman down with facts, with feelings, and truth. Post your comments. Let me know what you think about that young sister. I hope we do elevate her and the Democratic Party, the old hags in the Democratic Party, men and women. I'm calling them both hags. You need to step aside and let this more progressive movement rise because you saw what just happened during the day Mamdani got elected as mayor of New York. Those are the policies that can sustain America. Those are the populist financial and economic policies that can sustain us, not continuously giving money to the folks at the very top and hoping that they'll trickle it down. Hell, it needs to be a tsunami down. It needs to be the kind of money that you see drop in strip clubs, not a trickle. That's the problem. Let me know what you guys think. That's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe. And as always, I'll give you my favorite outro, the homegirl who had to hire protection out of her own pocket with 50 G's, Jasmine Crockett.
Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach